Hi, everyone, and welcome to our final session of the Historia Project Summer Virtual Camp Series. We're so glad that you are joining us today. And if you were here from day one, well, congrats on making it here. And if it's your first video, welcome. We have three other videos before this where you can learn so much about the history of science, but we're so glad that you're here anyways. So for our last session today, we're going to be talking about climate change. Now, climate change is a very pressing issue to us all, and you might be kind of wondering, well, what exactly is climate change and how is it important to us? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So today we're going to be unpacking the impacts of climate change on our world and how it really um, affected our globe from the very beginning to even today. So we'll cover a couple of topics, such as what exactly is climate change, what causes climate change, how does climate change impact us, how does the ecosystem and biodiversity play a role in climate change, how does economics become a factor when we talk about climate change, and in the end, how can we help to solve issues related to climate change? So let's dive into what exactly is climate change. So climate change, to put it very simply, is this very long-term change in our climate patterns and temperatures as a globe. And it's primarily caused by the increase in greenhouse gas emissions, which are basically due to human activities like burning fossil fuel, deforestation, and industrial processes. So these greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, when they are released, they get trapped, they trap heat in our atmosphere, and that leads to a gradual rise in our Earth's temperatures. This phenomenon has very negative consequences for our planet, and some of those include melting ice caps, sea levels rising, extreme weather events such as tsunamis or tornadoes, and more frequent one of those, disrupted ecosystems, and also threats to biodiversity. Climate change really poses a significant threat to our health, food security, water availability, and even socioeconomic stability in the long term. And that's why it's necessary for us to really take action as a global action to really mitigate its effects, adapt to the changes, and transition to a more sustainable future. So all in all, what we really need to know that about climate change is that it's really a pressing issue, a global crisis that needs immediate attention.
Now let's talk about what some of the causes of climate change are. So the primary cause is mainly human activity. So as stated previously, there are things like the burning of fossil fuels for energy, deforestation, industrial processes, and agricultural practices that release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, like carbon dioxide and methane, that trap heat and lead to a gradual increase in global temperatures. This is known as global warming. Another contributor are the use of some like chemicals that can cause a hole in the ozone layer, which protects from the sun's ultraviolet radiation. And once there's a hole that allows for more radiation, thus warming up the earth even more. And so rapid industrialization, population growth, because people need more food, more supplies, more resources, more energy, and unsustainable consumption patterns can make this crisis even worse. Now let's talk about the impact of climate change. So climate change has really impacted the globe a lot. So rising temperatures can cause glaciers and polar ice caps to melt, which cause sea levels to rise. And then this causes more coastal flooding and threatens low-lying areas and small island nations. So it's already destroyed a lot of architecture and different buildings. Extreme weather events, including hurricanes, droughts, and heat waves, can also become more frequent and intense, caused by climate change, which can lead to devastating consequences for communities, economies, and natural ecosystems. So I don't know if you guys have seen, but recently, like the Canadian wildfires and the Hawaii wildfires, climate change all played a role in allowing those to happen. So climate change can disrupt delicate ecosystems, which alter habitats and biodiversities. So as these temperatures rise, species will face challenges in adapting or migrating to suitable environments for them to live in. And these disruptions cause species extinctions, and this affects the balance of the ecosystem and also the vital services that they provide, like pollination, carbon storage, and water regulation, which are all very important aspects that humans need to live. And the loss of biodiversity, it's not only a cultural and aesthetic loss, but it also undermines like the resilience of ecosystems, which can further put the well-being of human populations into risk.
Okay, so climate change poses significant socioeconomic challenges as well. It threatens food security and agriculture as changing weather patterns and extreme events such as natural disasters affect crop yields, livestock, and fisheries. Indigenous communities, marginalized populations, and developing nations are particularly vulnerable, as they often lack the necessary resources and infrastructure to adapt. Increased healthcare costs due to these climate-related illnesses, diseases, and air pollution further the socioeconomic burden of climate change. To combat climate change, proactive measures are required at all levels. Mitigation strategies aim to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by transitioning to renewable energy sources, such as solar panels, promoting energy efficiency, and implementing sustainable land use practices. So simultaneously, adaptation strategies focus on building resilience to climate change impacts, including developing climate resilient infrastructure, enhancing disaster preparedness, and implementing nature based solutions. Education, awareness, and policy changes play vital roles in creating a sustainable future. By adopting sustainable practices, investing in a cleaner technology, promoting environmental stewardship, and fostering global cooperation, we can strive towards a more sustainable and resilient future for ourselves and future generations. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you in the near future.
Bye.